We've all heard the phrase, hockey is for everyone. A visit from the Boys and Girls Club of the Twin Cities to Tria Rink for Wild University career exploration brings the statement to life.
It was nice. Really liked it. Getting to see the other sides of hockey instead of just what you see on TV.
For Central High School senior Delaney Edwards, inspiration is sparked.
Really inspiring, actually. I've been looking at the high position jobs. It's not seeing representation out there. Now that I'm seeing like the behind the scenes and everything, we're actually out there. That's really nice to see.
Wild team physicians Dr. Joel Boyd and Dr. David Hamler led the discussion and tour of the facilities.
I'm always extremely happy to speak with young people. And this room was great because it was multicultural, young men and young women. It was a fun group.
These guys are kind of a big deal.
I got a wife who reminds me who I am. Exactly.
Dr. Boyd grew up in Washington, D.C.
When the Washington Capitals came to town, Mike Marston, who was the second African-American hockey player in the league, was playing and really piqued my interest in the game of hockey.
He became the first black team physician in NHL history in 2000 with the Wild, specializing in orthopedics.
Certainly a milestone that I'm proud of, that I was able to achieve. Certainly, we all have allies in this, in that someone recognized or took me at the value of my education and my experience in what I've been involved in. I also spent some time with USA Hockey as their national team doc, and they said, this person's qualified.
Dr. Hamler joined him in 2004.
From top down, I became associated with the Minnesota Wild as sort of the cut guy. I'm a facial plastic surgeon, so when people have lacerations, and plus I do jaw fractures, and very few of those in hockey.
An Ohio native, Dr. Hamler is now all about the state of hockey.
It does give you a little bit of cred in this community. Here I am. I've done other things in life, and I've been successful at it. But I'll have my bag, and it says Minnesota Wild on it. That's the first thing that people will connect with.
Even though Dr. Boyd played football in college, a trip to Canada for medical school allowed him to become immersed in the game of hockey. And he's made it his mission to educate.
I think the thing that I enjoy probably the most is actually bringing the story to other minorities, because they don't know. If you walk into a community almost anywhere now and say there's a rich history of black hockey players, they're just like, what are you talking about? That didn't happen. That's not real. And I was like, no, there is.
The phrase, hockey is for everyone, is something that I learned a couple years ago when I got here. Is that something that you both truly believe?
I truly believe it is. I mean, there's so many jobs affiliated with a hockey team. If that's your passion, there's a place for you.
Representation matters.
Seeing that two African-American doctors in the hockey field is like, we've gotten really far in life. It's nice to see that we can do anything we put our minds to.
These doctors,
every time you cross that threshold, you're qualified for the next thing.
Are representing well.